Do you want to quit your job? Are you afraid of what your life looks like on the other side of giving up your career? Today, I am joined by Whitney Elkins-Hutten, who is an expert in wealth building. And I don't just say that lightly. She is the author of Money for Tomorrow, How to Build and Protect Generational Wealth, which is published by BiggerPockets. Yay! Among her investments includes an $800 million plus real estate portfolio, including residential units, express car washes, and self-storage units across the United States. Today, we're going to discuss how to shift your potentially limiting beliefs to create the life you want. Whitney, thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait for the audience to learn more about you and what they can do to be one step closer to FI.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on, Mindy.
I'm so excited. So let's jump right into it. How did you discover the concept of financial independence?
Well, discovering the concept of financial independence came about 14 years after I actually discovered real estate. I just didn't have the vocabulary there, and I have to give a lot of credit to BiggerPockets on this. To back up the timeline, my first real estate investment property came in 2002 completely by accident. And I to borrow your words, Mindy, I did a live-in, flip, and a house hack, kind of mixed together all at the same time. Didn't know that's what it was called, until you guys came up with the language around that. But I did several more of those type of projects in order to eliminate my personal housing expense, but also to build up some capital and utilize the tax code to keep a lot of that capital tax-free. But really, I got really good at building up buckets of capital. I was really bad at, unlocking those golden handcuffs of my job, which meant I needed cash flow. And so that's where it was about 2014, 15. I read the book, Tony Robbins' book, Money Master the Game. And it is a tome, guys. It is like 300, 400 pages. And really, it's when I read that book, I'm like, oh, wait a second. I'm actually doing the exact thing that if I just make some small tweaks and stop living, flipping, and house hacking and transition to a buy and hold portfolio, I could actually replace my income and go down this journey of FIRE. But that also opened up so many other wormholes for me to dive down on ways that I wasn't creating wealth for myself, that I wasn't protecting my wealth, and then quite frankly, that I really didn't know what I didn't know on how to grow it.
Okay, so that right there, I want to highlight. I don't think that everybody has to be invested in every single thing. There's always going to be something that you're not invested in. There's more ways to grow your money, yada, yada. But you don't know what you don't know, and you need to be protecting your wealth. That's really important because taxes are going to eat up a lot of it. I want to pay all the taxes I have to, but I don't want to pay any taxes I don't have to. And rich people have CPAs that are looking for loopholes, that have already found them. All the CPAs talk to each other. There's so many ways that you can spend a little and get a lot in savings. I really want to dive into some of these ways that you have protected your wealth, tax or whatever. But before we do that, let's jump into where would you say you are on the path to financial independence?
We are past it. We're on that way. We're pretty close to financial freedom. I'm sure my husband wants to, travel more full time for mountain biking at this point in time. But, we have some things that keep us here in Colorado during certain parts of the year, especially around our daughter's schooling. But yeah, that is, that's where we're at on that path is, we're really able to, our investments provide enough income for us to do what we want, when we want, with whom we want. I know.
That's the whole point of this. Yay. Okay. So do you still have a traditional job, a W-2 where you're going to work and you are reporting to somebody else?
Yes. And it is on my terms, though. It is a job that I want to have. So I don't feel like neither my husband and I, we wake up in the morning and we want to go to work. I mean, I actually retired twice. The first time I think I was retired for about a month, and the second time I was retired for 2 weeks. And, with the second time, really the opportunity that I was looking for to create value in the world fell in my lap and I couldn't say no. So yes, do I technically earn a W-2? Yes. But, I'm in the position now to where I can craft my schedule, my work, and quite frankly, how I create that impact in the world on my terms. It's not that I have to show up to a job just to show up to a job. It's like It's not even work. Don't tell my boss. Like if he was like, yeah. He's like, if I don't have to pay her, like that's not good. But yeah.
Yeah. When you get up in the morning and you're happy to go to work, that is so different than when you get up and you're like, I can't believe I have to go to work again. I hate everything about it. Like that just sucks out your soul. And if you're listening or watching this video and that is your job, go look for another job. Find a job that doesn't just make you want to cry when you wake up in the morning. Because I've had that job and it really is heartbreaking when you wake up in the morning. You're like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go there. Everything is awful. So yeah, I hear your excitement about your job. I have the exact same job. So what are some of the ways that you have learned how to protect the wealth that you have grown?
Again, and starting off with that book, Money Master the Game, a lot of that book was really focused on how to invest outside of Wall Street and quite frankly, take your investments into your own hands. And up until this point in time, I'd been, Googling, FIRE, and it was all about how do I cut my coffee intake? I don't drink coffee. How do I cut my dining? I really ate out. And I was like, I really felt like I had these smaller things, powerful, pretty optimized. And I'm like, okay, this is saving me $1,000, $2,000 a year. How can I save $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $80,000 a year? Those were the tricks that I wanted to learn. And really that first book really kind of clued me into one of the biggest ways that you can move a huge needle in saving and protecting your wealth is understanding what kind of fees are being charged in your retirement portfolio. Now, when I coach people, this is not where I start. We don't start here, but in the timeline, this is where I started. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm only paying a 1% or 1.5% fee load on my portfolio. That can't be that bad, I'll pay $100 for them to manage 10,000, and hopefully I make money. We all make money, why, right? But I actually found a tool at that time. Was called Personal Capital. Now it's called Empower.com. I love it, and I started plugging in all my accounts, including my retirement accounts, my husband's retirement account, and I started modeling out the fee impact to our portfolio. And it wasn't just $1,000. It was, if we continued to save for retirement in those vehicles, as we were estimated to lose over 31% of our portfolio to fees by the time we retired, which equated to $180,000 just for me. That didn't include what my husband was projected to, it's hard to say lose, but what you're trading, right? You're trading away that growth to pay for what? That was the question. I was like, I could recreate this portfolio on Vanguard or Fidelity or Schwab myself. Why do I have to put it here? Now, so that was really the first eye-opening thing for me. I was like, wait a second, I can actually today save myself, make a move today that to my future self is going to save $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. And not only that, if I compound that out to the next generation, that's millions of dollars saved.
Yeah, I'm nodding my head as you tell this story because we did that same thing and it was shocking. The model, you're like, what? It's only 1%. Now imagine if it's 2% or, some of those other fees that you see with assets under management. It's eye-opening isn't the right word. Shocking, face-slapping, or should be face-slapping. Go to Empower and check it out. Model your own and see what you are going to be paying because it's not just $100. If it was $100, it's, I value the time that it takes to do the thing that they're doing, but not for $181,000. I don't value it.
So that really taught me that, and it's like real estate. It's not, when you invest in retirement funds, it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. That's the whole point there. And I'm like, okay, I really can be empowered to take this over for myself, especially unless I'm going to become, a guru at trading day stocks and options. And I'm sure there's somebody here that says, Whitney doesn't know what she's talking about when she said day stocks and options. You're right, because I don't want to learn. And so that was when I was like, you know what? I can really save myself hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars by just making this one simple move. But there's other moves too. I was looking for other ways to, cut out like $10, $15, $20,000 on my expenses. And that goes above and beyond just like the latte, the dining out and stuff like that. Another powerful strategy for us was renegotiating all of our liability insurances across the board, our home, our auto, our term life insurance. And, I called around trying to figure out ways to, the quotes I got was $50 here, $10 here savings. Well, we also had a Costco membership, executive membership, and that cost us $110 a year. We were able to save over $2,000 combined across all of our insurances by utilizing the power of a purchasing group like Costco. So, for those of you listening, if you have a Costco membership, if you have Walmart membership or Sam's Club or whatever it's called, take a look at those buying type power that they have on their different types of programs.
Holy cats. I didn't even know that Costco had an insurance. I have a Costco membership. I bought cars and vacations through them, but I have not looked at insurance through them. And it's about time for my insurance to pop back up again. Pro tip to anybody, if you have insurance coming up, call around and get quotes because the insurance company does not reward your loyalty, which is unfortunate. I've been with you for how many years? And now you're just going to keep raising my rates. The problem is they don't raise your rates like enormously. They just bump it up a little bit. But then you go and get a quote. Yeah, death by 1,000 cuts. You go back and get a quote. And then you're like, I'm saving $150 on each entire policy. So I didn't know Costco did that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they contract out with, in our area, which would be your area too, Mindy, like American Family, so they have their whole program is called Connect. So that's who our home insurance is through. I believe Progressive has another, has our travel trailer insurance and stuff like that. But it was shocking. And here's the thing. The reason why I encourage people to look at some of these areas that I'm talking about, putting your own retirement portfolio on autopilot is a one-time move that can yield hundreds of thousands of dollars. Renegotiating your insurance is a one-time move that can save you tens of thousands of dollars. And it's not deprivation, right? You're not feeling it every single day of like I can't go to Starbucks today and get my latte because I have to make it at home. Now, I encourage people to do that. If you need to do that, that's where you need to start. That's where you need to start. But, these are things that can yield tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you don't have to feel deprived on your journey to financial independence.
That is an awesome point. Speaking of deprivation, were there any changes that you ended up making once you discovered this concept of financial independence? Did you give anything up that you later decided wasn't worth it? Or did you have anything shocking that you had to change in order to become financially independent?
I had to get my husband on board. So I wasn't going to give my husband up, but it was definitely a big journey because I think, especially with people that I work with, and I'm sure it's your experience too, Mindy, one person is super gung-ho about financial independence and the other spouse is like, time out, hold on, what are we doing? What are you asking me to do? What changes are you asking me to make in my life, or what are you asking me to give up? And my husband and I, we landed on a process that really resonated for us, which is we sat down, and this comes from a blog post that I read years ago, which is, what are the 3 things that are going to contribute to your happiness the most? The experiences you have, right? So I encourage you, do it for yourself. Do this exercise with a spouse. What experiences do you want to have? Think the things that you would do on a Friday night, like last minute with friends. Also think of like trips you would take nationally, things you want to see locally, concerts, big trips you want to take internationally, right? Write all those things down. How do you want to grow? Is there a skill that you want to learn? Is there a book you want to read? Think simple, think big. And then how do you want to give back? Who do you want to donate to? Where do you want to donate your time? Okay, how do you want to give back of your knowledge and expertise? Now, when you think of these 3 columns, now you understand kind of where your values are. And so it becomes a way easier when you look at all of your expenses and you're trying to figure out what to cut out, right? You're going to get rid of all the destructive expenses, those things that are like not serving you for the long run. But when you look at your consumptive expenses, this can be an exercise that really helps you and your partner align on what you're going to keep and what you're going to give up. Now, see, like, it was super easy for my husband and I to give up like shopping and stuff like that because we didn't value it. But you asked us to give up going to a restaurant or to travel. No, that was like, core to our very being. Like we wanted to do that. I run into people where they're the complete opposite. And so this really just helps kind of give you like a filtration system, like a funnel that you can run things through when you're looking at those consumptive expenses, those lifestyle expenses that you want to narrow down. Like what's super important to you, and what maybe you need to find an alternative in the meantime. Like we love eating out. Well, we initially got an app called Mealime to where we could start cooking these delicious meals at home, but we still felt very fed and nurtured. We weren't going to pare down to like doing, I don't know. I always get a little triggered by this because, I saw a lot of people that just eat ramen noodles and like do these freezer foods. And I'm like, I would never eat that. But some people love it because they don't. Why? Because they don't value that. They value something else. And that's perfectly fine. And so I encourage people to kind of like look at that as you're trying to figure out like, what are you going to keep? What are you going to give up? How do we actually do this? Well, so we have all of our accounts connected to, you can do this through Simplify, you can do it through empower.com actually, but we track our expenses. And so we're constantly looking at our expenses throughout the year and, in all categories and trying to figure out, okay, did something inflate in an area that, again, doesn't align with our values, with what we want to do? We went a little big this month on groceries. We hit $1,200. I know some people, eyes might be like popping on their head. Guys, we cook a lot at home and we cook really great food. Can we like bring that down closer to like $1,000? Like we'll continue to gamify it. And really, we try to give every dollar a job. So if we take that out of our budget, we're immediately shuttling over to savings in order to give it a job to be invested someplace else.
How much time do you think you devote to tracking expenses and thinking about what you're spending every month on a monthly basis, approximately?
I think when we first started this FIRE journey, I was spending like 1 or 2 hours a month really trying to comb through the expenses and trying to figure out where could we pick up some ground. And again, that's when I really landed on that going for the smaller line items wasn't as impactful than if I like really focused on how to leverage insurance wisely, leverage interest, focus on reducing my tax bill. That's why I really shift gears and really focused on the big six. But now I still track my portfolio, but I really track my expenses because we want to make sure that we don't have that lifestyle creep because it can really happen. The closer that you get to financial independence and you move into financial freedom, it's not like you can take your eye off the ball because that lifestyle creep, you feel like, hey, I crossed a milestone. I achieved a goal. Like, let me reward myself, right? So now I probably spend closer to about 30 minutes a month. And really, I have these systems automated, utilizing for us at simplify.com. And then we have a spreadsheet to monitor our portfolios. I have a VA that helps me like track all this now. I mean, I pay them like $10 a month. They do all the data entry for me. So, we have the system down and we have it, really leveraged.
What is your biggest takeaway from pursuing financial independence, from the path, the journey, the concept that you would like to tell our audience?
I think the biggest thing, and I landed on this really early, my biggest realization is that if I was going to make this happen, I needed to do it for myself. I hate to say that the world is out to get you because that's a scarcity mindset, but everything is set up in the system for somebody else to make money. So if you want to create financial independence for yourself, to build and protect your own wealth, to have it there for generations, to pass on to future generations, you have to take the time, invest in yourself, take action, learn how to take action. And, some people are just, they get so distraught with making decisions. Get in a group, get in touch with a mentor, learn how to take that educated action, flex that financial capacity muscle, and you're going to have to take it on for yourself because he who creates the value or she, guys, he or she, they're going to get rewarded for it. So if you want that value, create it for yourself.
I love that so much. Whitney, thank you for your time today. This was so much fun, and it's always good to talk to you. I know you have the new book called Money for Tomorrow, How to Build and Protect Generational Wealth, but is there any place else that our audience can find you?
Yes, you can find me at ashwealth.com.
Ash Wealth, A-S-H Wealth.com. All right. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos with inspiring fire stories just like Whitney's. This is Vinnie Jensen signing off.